the red in their irises here as they look over, and they scrutinize William a little bit longer than the rest of you. And the male says, "But you cavort with devils. What is the meaning of this?"
And then Droffen, she will go, if I'm being completely honest, it is a long story, which I will most happily divulge or tell you. But he's an ally. He can be trusted. He's proven himself.
Who is your master?
Currently, my master is Arcturus Dracot.
The spotlight still continuing to linger, and their scrutinizing gazes continuing to linger.
Callista will kind of pause for a second and continue and say in Androphen, "Yes, that is Shagram."
And the other is Wilhelm Rytor, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Are you aware that Wilhelm Rytor is out to kill Shagram the Shaman and install his brother as the king of the Silver Haunt?
Yes, I am aware of that fact, but I can guarantee you that is not what either of these two want.
Then what is their goal here?
Callista's gonna pause for a second, and then the player is gonna be like, "Have they ever talked about what they want to do?"
They have not. They have not. They were like, Rytor. No. Rytor bad. That's really the extent of it. Nods, and she nods. And he looks to you all and says, "Follow us to the Temple of Sintamo in the center of the city. More will be explained."
Does he say that in common or in draw?
Yeah, he says this in common this time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I had to translate.
Shit, that would have been really means.
Yeah, you guys have been kind of like posing for like 5 minutes as close to.
Wait, I hear Sintamo name drop.
Yes, Sintamo name drop.
I will turn to Callista and. What are they saying, Callista?
Well, all you really need to know is that negotiations went well. They're not going to try and kill us yet, and more is going to be explained after we follow them to the Temple of Sintamo here in the city.
Oh, the temple!
Yes, that is what I said. Very hurtful on the eyes, but it's over now.
This place is absolutely vast.
One thing that was troubling, though, they already knew of both you, William, and Shagram.
Is that really troubling? I do recall a terminal log that didn't mention them back in the well, up there.
I mean, if they've been here longer than us, I'm sure they've had to deal with Rytor. And Rytor's probably been saying some shit mentioning us for a while now. I don't know, it adds up to me.
Well, it's troubling in the sense of how they're going to act around you all and try and, I don't know, maybe they'll try and capture you all and send you to Rytor too. Just to get them off their backs. No, just a thought.
Technological gears and functions. It is the perfect synthesis of opposing unions. You have no idea what any of that means.
Yeah, he's just staring blankly. he's gonna kind of like scratch the side of his head just with it. Yeah, but like, how does that work?
Shagram, are you asking how synthetic life works?
I mean, yeah.
Shagram, I don't mean to intrude on your conversation, but how come you never asked Nomad that?
I mean, Nomad was just Nomad. Always thought he was just a man in a body that was metallic.
But that's...
I'm just gonna nod, and then kind of just go back to what I was doing, which is just looking at all the shit we're driving past.
But even more recently, you could have asked me.
Oh. What you mean?
She's just kind of like... just kind of gonna look back and just look at how... you have your mask on, but it's very clear that you're like kind of like genuinely confused.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll go, my apologies, I thought I had already told you, but no, I'm one of two sisters, android sisters, working for the Dracot family. Life, it seems.
She says it, replies in Androphone. It is of no worries. I find it quite nice to be asked such things, actually. To be able to talk about it.
Oh. But, Chagrin... Are you talking about a wife?
No, not a wife. Wi-Fi. It like you pair something with it, and then you can use it to do something on something else.
Are you talking about Wi-Fi?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Callista's
Is that
not
how
responding.
it works?
Callista's not responding anymore. Callista's very tired all of a sudden.
And he's like touching his pointer fingers together. He's like, do you two pair like devices?
She looks at you, Chagrin, and she brushes her hair, like over her ear, and she goes, "We often pair with each other, but it's true. We've also are able to pair with others if need be."
How's that work?
And she smiles, and she says, "It is a complex process, but one I'm happy to explain to you once we reach the temple."
Ooh.
And go ahead.
He's just kind of like giddy.
Vine boom sound effects.
They all look the same. They're all clones of one another, but there's little bits of differences between them. Some of them might have their hair cut in a certain way. Some of them might have like war markings or tattoos. Some of them may have different armor altogether, like their whole chassis is like built a little bit differently, or bits of additional armor has been grafted on. Some of them might have religious symbols or little bits of memorabilia carrying around them. They're all the same, but they all have slight variations, kind of indicating that they are all the same model. They're all the same like clones of each other, but they're still all distinct. They're all still unique unto themselves. That is what you're able to glean, Chagrin. So you know that they aren't just like hive mind. They are all people, like to themselves.
Right.
Of course, if you have any more questions, I'm more than happy to answer them as well. Well, after you come back, of course.
Okay. Wait. One last question.
She tilts her head.
What, like, do you have, like a name?
I go by a model number. Do you have a preferable name?
No. Right now.
Why don't you think on it afterward?
Okay.
And she will smile as you are now rejuvenated with a renewed purpose.
Okay.
Okay.
And all it took was Hungarian dance number 5.
Dude.
He'll like kind of jauntily jog over to the others.
This is the first time I've ever been happy to hear that song.
You can get that sense from the way they're conducting themselves and the way they're interacting with this wellspring. as you all kind of patiently wait, the individual stands like a good 6.5 feet tall. Back still turned, you all says, I hope the androids were not much of a burden during your first encounter.
Well, other than shining a bright light in the face, yes, very amicable.
It's quite fine, really. We are strangers after all.
They made for quite pleasant conversations.
It's like pitch black, the hood. But you see her hands have a bit of a bestial nature to them, like dark purple fur. And the figure says, "Ah, O Master Obaris, it is nice to see you."
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, but I'm afraid I don't recognize you with that veil.
He pulls down the veil, and immediately you recognize this as a jackal-headed individual. You recognize him as Inpu Amenhotep.
Yo! It's been 2 years!
First was cold, dark, empty, but something about it felt safe, felt right. I saw another before me that looked as though it was a forest pathway, but there was metal on the trees and the plants, and something was awfully wrong. And the third, it was hard to see at first, but eventually it became clear to me. It was the Fey Wonder. And I saw Rytor there. Way of reaching Rytor. Sort of like a stew. You like a good stew, Shagram?
Oh, I love me a good stew.
You can't make a good stew without a good bit of meat, right?
Right.
Well,
It's
pardon...
the main ingredient in the stew.
Exactly. Well, pardon the comparison, William, but,
You're one meaty
appears
boy.
he is the meat in this equation.
William's
So,
live reaction.
We gotta put him, we gotta boil him.
He's going into the pot, yes.
Oh, that does sound painful. He'll put a hand on William's shoulder. When it comes down to it, I'll make sure you be the most fantastic stew there is. These old blokes in the village and, thinking about them. And, well, I remember this one little twerp. She used to bug me all the time, mess up with my ingredients, with my herbs, but she was always apologetic and very smart. So I figure, you seem kind of smart. I'll give you her name, if that's all right.
She will nod.
Her name was Mersha.
What does it mean?
You know? I don't rightly know.
And at the same time, the eternally sucking gorge of the void, the belittling and dismembering devil. The power of Abraxas is twofold, but ye see it not, because for your eyes the warring opposites of this power are extinguished. As a god, You are the great Abraxas in your world. But as a man, you are the heart of the one god who appears to his world as the great Abraxas, the feared, the powerful, the donor of madness, he who dispenses the water of life, the spirit of the tree of life, the daemon of blood, the deathbringer. Pain and disappointment filled the void of Abraxas with coldness. All of your life's warmth slowly sinks into the depths of your soul, into the midpoint of man, where the far blue starlight of your one god glimmers. So live life. Do not flee Abraxas, provided that he compels you and you can recognize his necessity. In one sense I say to you, do not fear him, do not love him. In another sense I say, fear him, love him. He is the life of the earth. That says enough. The more you free yourself from him, the more you approach death, since he is the life of the universe. But he is also universal death. Therefore you fall victim to him again, not in life, but in dying. So remember him. Do not worship him. But also, do not imagine that you can flee him, since he is all around you.
As you're squeezing and it hurts, Inpu begins to begins incantations in Utopian, generally going along the lines of what Obaris has just read. But he adds verses that mention Sintamo, and he also adds a verse mentioning Aramir, and caps it off with a prayer to Eru the Eternal, the King of the Gods, as the door shakes and rumbles and some of the crystals begin to clack and shake. It's almost as if the whole temple is about to collapse until you see the shrine open with almost like a whirlpool portal, the same color of the crystals above. As Inpu finishes and he says, "The way is open for you all now."
Something that's Oren.
This man is definitely not a German officer.
And still knelt in prayer, you hear a voice ring out. And as the face looks to you guys, the mechanical components make themselves quite clear. As Rytor looks at you all, aged, and he says, "No, but I once was." This is a beautiful piece of music, is it not? Swiss, I believe. They played this a couple days before Berlin's fall. I only want you to join me. We were separated, but we're here now. We're united.
We were separated, and I got sent to a simple family and taught me some basic lessons. And one of those is to try and do good where you can. Wilhelm, normally I wouldn't, but we're family by blood, so maybe that's the thing that's making me try to find this good side, but I can't go along with the plan that's gonna kill people that aren't even aware of what's going on. So I join up before America even officially joins the war, because I knew I wanted to believe that we'd get involved, help and try and minimize the untold destruction I was hearing. And that war ended, yet I arrive here, and I hear stories, and I hear omens of another new form of untold destruction about to ravage this place. So I gotta I'm still doing the same fight I did back then. I can't let that happen. If I were to walk away now, it's not the person I am. I'm tired, but I have to keep going.
How, grandmother? Was all of our suffering for this? For his ambitions? One evil against another? Is that our fate, William?
It's... You should expect this answer, knowing where I came from. But the only one that can really determine our fate is ourselves. Everything's gonna get thrown at us, but it's only you choose how you react to it.
Rasputin, he wanted to both bring back William to his original state and get revenge on Baba Yaga at the same time. But Fatum didn't know the consequences would be dire and that he couldn't deliver both, so to hide himself and from this whole incident and to prevent it from happening in the first place, he decided to alter your memory.
Figure that's what Desperado wanted.
It's gotten a lot more complicated.
Nomad.
I just wanted to say my piece.
Nomad, this is his psyche. We don't know if how any events, anything we do in here, we don't know how it's gonna affect how he is on the outside.
Don't worry. Once I have the crown, I control portions of the Silver Hunt. It's all right. Now, Wilhelm, do yourself a favor. Get down here, on your knees, and I will crush your skull.
Does Nomad want to become the new king?
Days.
Holy shit.
The fingers sink into his head, and he will tear off the crown from his head as he's still kneeling. And there is brain matter alongside mechanical oil and viscera as he dies, holding the crown out to Nomad. And Nomad, he takes off portions of the helmet, of his own helmet, takes the crown from Rytor's dead hands, his dead mechanical hands, places it firmly on his skull before resealing up the helmet. And it begins to protrude out through the helmet. As Wilhelm Rytor dies in a pose eternally gifting the crown. Turns around, and he gives the signal for them to leave. And then Nomad immediately pivots and shoots Yanni in the shoulder, as the rest of them immediately whiplash back, and they immediately aim their guns on Nomad, and he looks, and he kicks Yanni while still groveling on the ground, and he goes, "No, I think I'm done taking orders now. Get the fuck out of my kingdom." As he's still groveling on the ground, clutching at the massive gaping wound in his shoulder as a result of a 500 Magnum piercing through it. He goes, "No, man, what is the meaning of this?" Nomad does not reply.
Oren will approach him and say, "You heard the king."
Magnum's chuckling.
Get a floor two.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. Does the pad just now materialize?
Yeah.
Okay. There's the.
I gotta stop by 4 real quick.
What? No, you
Sacker
know,
just
you
go
don't.
in. We have not been. We haven't been to 4 yet.
I would recommend it. So, I imagine all of you.
Yeah. Callista presses 2 before Shagram can even touch the pad.
Shagram is that sad crying cat.
I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
We'll see you soon, Nomad.
Nomad nods. He nods. And the last thing you see before the doors close is him pulling out the 500 Magnum out of his holster and him marching off. Floor 3 to talk to the androids, or are you guys going straight to floor 2?
Oh, that was on floor 3.
Oh, yeah, no, we'll stop by floor 3.
Okay.
We'll stop by floor 3, catch up Inpu and androids, and then go back to floor 2 and be like, Mamphoton, we know everything.
Alright, so, with all of you, the Godfinders, having successfully overthrown the King of the Silverhaunt and installing Nomad as the new King of the Silverhaunt, a new age begins in this region, and Nomad has placed upon you a great mission. The balance of power has shifted entirely.
The hierarchy of power.
Our new mission, kill Rasputin.
Kill Rasputin. And
I love Call of Duty missions.
that is where we'll end the session.